What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. In today's video, we're busting out the XL Grumpig in the Ultra League. Yes, the big chunky boy himself, happy to be here, loving life, is #1 on the Ultra League rankings. Just built this guy. I had found one in the wild. I had a really kind of meh Ivy Shiny, so I was super happy to find this one. It's 2,500 almost on the nose, and I had to try it out. In the lead, now, well, we'll start with the back. Somebody in chat suggested I try Dragapult, because why not? I have been trying to put a meta team around Grumpig for 4 games straight, and it was all going to pieces, so at that point, I'm like, all right, let's try some off-the-wall stuff. Dragapult ended up being the thing that we worked with this team, and we're using Grumpig on our safe switch here to bait out those dark types that would be a problem for Dragapult. And then the lead? Well, we got a deer. Virizion is the reason, or is the lead on this team. If you don't have Virizion, you could use Credilli. If you don't have Dragapult, you can use a Giratina. And if you don't have Grumpig, you could probably use Malamar. Those are some things that you could use with this team. You could also, instead of Dragapult, you could use a Guzzlord as well. There's definitely options. Let's check out these games, though, because we went on an insane 10-0 streak with this team. It's 11 games, but there is a game that I'm not going to count, as you'll see in a little bit here. That is very loud. Hold on a moment now. So we're going to drop into our pig here. Lead was terrible. Typhlosion, where I don't even know, man. Then they end up coming in with a Feraligatr, and I feel like I'm already hosed, but we get a nice energy lead from that opponent throwing the Incinerate and then swapping out. And now we're going to be able to go for Dynamic Punches here. Dynamic Punch will do plenty of neutral damage, and that is the strength of Grumpig, is its unresisted coverage. It can hit you for neutral with either of its moves. I am hoping that I can get to the Dynamic Punch, and thankfully that's Psywave energy getting us to the Dynamic Punch to either get a final shield or a knockout, and the opponent goes 2 shields down to try and get switch advantage, but the Gator is only going to be able to get 1 Ice Beam in here. I can tank 1. I can honestly tank both, and I'm saving 2 shields for Dragapult for a sweep. Grumpig has set us up here very, very nicely. Hydro Cannon not doing enough. I'm going to go straight into the Dragapult because I know that I'm going to get matched up against Typhlosion. I might as well go into my Dragon and try to sweep the game here, and the opponent's going to throw a move. I know this is a Thunder Punch most likely, and then I'm going to try to go for a few more moves. I know this definitely is a Thunder Punch, and I don't know what's in the back, so I'm thinking I should let this go just to see not only how much damage does it do, but also so I can try and figure out if I, can hopefully deal with what's in the back. And of course, I let that go, and it's the one thing that's in this game here that can handle me with the fast move pressure. It's a Dragonite opponent playing a triple non-XL team, which I love to see in the Ultra League nowadays. But we're going to be able to hopefully go for 1 double kick and switch, and then hit that opponent's Typhlosion before I can register the Incinerate, and we do. The Sacred Sword is going to be enough here. Well played to the opponent. There were some insane games in these sets. Just watch. Zygarde, love it. We love completely neutralizing Zygarde, and honestly, anybody who runs Zygarde in the Ultra League, shame on you. Master League, well, Karam has something to say about that, but in general, yeah, no, this thing is just obnoxious. It also core breaks me because it's got dark coverage and dragon coverage, which my backline can't really deal with, so I'm going to stay with Virizion and just commit to this matchup. The opponent probably has something like a Feraligatr or something in the back that is weak to the Virizion, so I'm expecting there to be something like that, but this is a very important thing for me to get rid of here, so I'm going to commit to this and look to go for another Leaf Blade. Now, I can also opt to swap in Grumpig here that we've CMP tied, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Opponent just threw their energy. They have none. I can go into Grumpig and start getting head on energy here, and that's exactly what I'll do. And the opponent staying in, getting farmed down, and then not knowing what to do. They're going to bring in Talonflame. I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball, but I let it incinerate through. The Psywaves and the animations, everything felt like it was aligned for me to get that move off before, but unfortunately I threw one too many Psywaves. So bozo moment for me, and it happens once in a while. I'm not perfect. As good as I am with regular timing, I'm not always perfect, and that definitely shows it. And the fact that they have a boosted Talonflame now with Flame Charge is a very scary thought. So we're up 2-0 shields. I need this Dragapult to do something. I try to switch out and bank my energy, but unfortunately, it is not to be. And then I try to catch a move on Virizion, and they swap in the Zygarde, but they throw anyway. So thank goodness the error has been corrected. We are good. They maybe, I don't know, maybe they're just trying to boost up. They don't know what's in the back. And it's Dragapult coming in here, looking to shield up this move and go for a nice sweep. I'm thinking maybe I throw the Breaking Swipe to take them off their energy here. But I think they're 2 away, so I'm going to go for the 3. I'm either going to farm down or shield, and I'm going to have to commit to that choice. We're going to be able to get to the breaking swipe right before they're able to get to a charge move. And they have a Virizion in the back, and that is an absolute boon to see, because this is exactly what Dragapult needs to be able to come away with this game. And if I had a Giratina here, this would have been an easier win for sure, because you just don't want to deal with a bulky Giratina. So just to point out that, you know, you could also use Jellicent if you want, although not in this case. It wouldn't have been as good, but it definitely would have been handier to have into something like that Talonflame, which I have seen a few of in the Ultra League these last couple days. But good game to the opponent. We taken him out with Dragapult. We don't bait in that last one because we can safely just go for 2 moves, and they have a Golurk in the next game. This is a pretty good lead, but if they swap to catch a move, it depends on what they come in with here. I'm going to over farm and look to throw a move on 6. I'm just waiting for them to throw energy, honestly, and since they built up enough for the Dynamic Punch, I'm going to respect it. And it's a Shadow Punch bait. Of course it is, but that's okay. We're really not having any fast move pressure into each other whatsoever here. But I'm going to go for the Leaf Blade. I'm just trying to be as unpredictable as possible. Throwing on 6, throwing it right away. Now I get both shields off of this thing, and I can try to make something happen later. And I'm just going to say, you know what? Even if it's Dynamic Punch, I'm letting it go. I'm saving a shield. Hopefully I can make something happen. This is another Shadow Punch. We get to the Leaf Blade, but they catch it on Pangoro. Oh, tragic. And I really can't bring in anything to Pangoro either. Like, everything takes super effective from Night Slash, so I'm actually going to be forced to shield here, which feels really bad, dude. But we're going to go for 2 more. Just one. I think about going for 2 more, but the opponent's the Karate Chops were doing too much damage, so I threw early. I just want to get rid of this thing, and I'm hoping that maybe I can do enough damage with Dragapult to make a difference here, or even get them in a range where maybe my Grumpig can farm down. So we're going to hit him with a couple of Astonishes. Opponent's going to go for the Shadow Punch. This is going to be enough damage. Both these Pokemon are glassy as heck. Shadow Punch, knocking out, kaboom! But now Grumpig can come in and try to make something happen here. Now, the opponent goes for a Shadow Punch here. Let's see how much bulk this Grumpig has, because we haven't really had a good way to test it. Shadow Punch, super effective, but not enough. Opponent has the Obstagoon in the back, and I was going to lose this game. The opponent literally has the single one thing in the back that wins us this game. Kaboom! Shadow Obstagoon getting one shot, and they're low enough where this Dynamic Punch is going to do enough damage to secure a knockout on the Golurk. And they close the app out of frustration. Goodness, I would have too. Who would have thought? But that's how good Grumpig can be with this Dynamic Punch coverage. It's just insane. Good game. I'd have been mad. I'd thrown my phone into a wall, dude. Anyway, next game up, we got a good lead. Guzzlord and the opponent top lefts. And this is why I included 11 games, because I didn't want to count this as part of the 10-0. I'm not a clickbaity kind of guy. So next game, we get a really positive lead for Alligator on the lead, and the opponent swaps immediately into the Galvantula, and I'm just like, there is an obvious answer to what I should do here. It's bring in the Dragapult. But I am so astounded by the fact that there is a Galvantula on my screen that I come in with Dragapult way too late. I get a bunch of energy, though, on Virizion, which was kind of my hope at the beginning. And the reason why I did that is because the Gator can absolutely take that matchup on even energy if I shield it Ice Beam correctly. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to CMP tie on the next move. I'm going to go for a breaking swipe and hope I can get the knockout, but they actually shield, which is really nice. But now I know that I can actually get switch advantage here, and my switch clock's almost up. They're going to come in with the Gator. We are double debuffed, but I will go straight for this Shadow Ball and swap back into Virizion. And with Virizion, I know at this point they're on about 1, so I can go for 2 if I want to, but I don't want to take a risk. I'm just going to double up on Leaf Blades here, throw the Leaf Blade, get the knockout. The opponent's not going to shield that. I was hoping they wouldn't. If they did, I had a second one. And they have a Grumpig in the back, so now the opponent, using my own boy against me, they call him Mr. Pig. And this is why. Leaf Blade is going to be chucking away at this Grumpig. We could get to another one that would be kind of nice. But now this Grumpig is going to be down in a range where a Shadow Ball would knock out. We also have the ability to hit them with the Dragapult for at least a couple of Astonishes. And the opponent makes a really nice catch here. But we're going to undercharge it, get the farm down. Dragapult's going to come in. And with a shield advantage, we should hopefully be able to get to a move on Grumpig. But Dragapult takes the fame and glory here and farms down. Good game. Next game, Alolan Sandslash, amazing lead. I expect the opponent to swap out right away, but they don't. And this is why I throw the Leaf Blade, because I swear I'm like, they're going to try and catch the Sacred Sword on a Jellicent or something. And then they don't, and I'm like, okay. And then they don't shield. Like, how do you, oh, man, my opponent's just making me look like a complete idiot. I'm going to be honest. So, they're going to land the Ice Punch and then bring in Golisopod. I'm like, okay, this sucks. I'm going to chip with the Leaf Blade here. And I don't really know what to bring in because Golisopod core breaks this team to pieces, as does Mandibuzz. I hadn't had to find out the hard way, thankfully. But I'm hoping that they have Aqua Jet and X-Scissor, so they're going to go for the X-Scissor. If they actually have Aqua Jet, that is the better move to throw. It's slightly more damage, not by much, but slightly more. Breaking Swipe, going to get the shield off the opponent, and that's okay with me because Grumpig with the shield advantage is actually quite disgusting. And I'm just going to let this go and look to farm down with Virizion, and then if I have to, I'll shield a move if they get to one, which they will. And I want to keep my Virizion's energy here kind of helpful because if the opponent doesn't think that I have Sacred Sword, because at this point my idiocy would make them believe to think that, I'm going to go for 1 and then the Sacred Sword knowing that they threw on, I believe it was 7. So they're only going to be at 8, 9. I can go for the Sacred Sword. They don't think I have it. They take him out. Jellicent now comes in. And I have a Grumpig. This is awkward. So I'm going to go for just a couple here. I'm going to try to catch a potential Surf. The opponent not falling for my shenanigans. Holds on to their energy. Very nice patience for them here. And I'm going to try to land a Shadow Ball with Grumpig. Now I'm going to save the shield for Virizion and hope that after the Shadow Ball lands, I can get a Leaf Blade off. Now, the opponent has to hold 2 moves, and I'm thinking if they get to 2 moves, I lose, right? Because I don't think that Virizion's going to win CMP. I'm trying to get to the move, but I can't get there. But miracle happens. Virizion wins CMP against Jellicent, and I didn't know that until after this battle was concluded. I thought they didn't have the back-to-back, but let's go, getting another Leaf Blade in against the Jellicent to take a game from what should have been a much easier win for me, but it wasn't because I'm a bozo. So we take a 5-0, technically 6-0 to the house, but like I said, I'm not going to count the Guzzlord game because they just decided to go ahead and quit. That's okay. It's fine. Terrible lead in the next game. I'm just going to say, Grumpig, do your thing. And opponent has the Shadow Sneak on this Giratina, I'm almost certain. They're going to stay in and throw it. Yep, they got the Shadow Sneak. So that's half of my Grumpig gone. The opponent now is going to try to swap and catch a move, but they're going to catch these hands as dynamic punches are ready to go before they can even get to a charge move. And we're going to get the shield from them on the first one. Grumpig doing its job. Safe switching, getting shields, and hopefully setting us up because Dragapult is what I'm going to need to win this game. There's no other way for me to be able to win this game, honestly, because I'm just... Giratina destroys Virizion in such a way that it actually brings shame upon its lineage, and its children suffer for it. Now, the opponent's going to throw a move. I don't care. It's fine. No, I lied. I'm going to shield this one because I'm like, I know this is going to be the Ice Beam. I was keeping count. I just did these battles like an hour ago, dude. And I've already forgotten at this point what are the decisions I made, but that's okay. Sometimes a hindsight perspective is nice. Now, here's where things get tricky. What am I going to do against this Giratina? I'm going to stay in, and I'm going to go for as many Leaf Blades as my little deer can go for. And I'm going to try and get this thing low enough that I might be able to snipe it down with some Astonishes with Dragapult. That is my current plan. So I'm going to stick to that and hope that it works out in my favor, because if it doesn't, I'm going to have a bad time. I already kind of expect that I'm going to lose this game. They probably have something in the back that destroys my Dragapult, so be it, whatever. I'm just going to try and play this out as best as I can. We're going to be able to get to another Leaf Blade. Opponent is prioritizing their timing here, so that's a very good practice for them to do, but thankfully it lets us get them low, and now they're within range for the Astonish. They throw after one. I'm hoping they don't get to a move here. Astonish, Dragapult's coming in. Opponent's going to be able to survive, but they don't get to a move. We get the farm down. They're not able to get to a move, and there's Lapras in the back, and this energy lead with the fact that it's a Shadow Lapras allows me to know that I can get to 2 Shadow Balls before the opponent can get to 2 moves. They try to call a bait, and it's not going to happen. Dragapult can shield. I know this is a bait, but I don't want to risk it, and I'm not looking for any biscuits, man. We're going to get this farm down. The opponent's going to go down. Well played to them. Let's go. Gastrodon on the lead. The dream lead. You love to see it. I need switch no matter what, and I will do whatever it takes to get it. Opponent, however, safe switching in a Miltank. I assume it has Ice Beam. But this is fine. I can land this and then come in with Grumpig. Farm up a little bit of energy more than I normally would, and I could just go for a dynamic punch here. I need to overfarm by just a bit. So what I'm going to do is they just throw a body slam. That's fine. I'll throw about... I could have let another move go through. Honestly, I could have, but... I overfarmed by just enough to get to a move here. Dynamic Punch. I was honestly thinking they might shield that, if I'm being quite honest here, but perhaps it makes sense that they didn't, because there's no way they can ever flip the Grumpig here with the Miltank, especially because how quick these things get the Dynamic Punch. So Grumpig's going to go for Shadow Ball into the Gastrodon, that's what they call it. That's the name of that Pokemon. Earth Power almost knocks us out. Opponent's going to go for the Talonflame swap in. We've got a Dragapult, but we're going to go for a Dynamic Punch just in case here. And the opponent lets it go. They know it's just a Dynamic Punch. That's fine. But Dragapult with 2 shields comes in and is ready to wreck this Talonflame's entire evening and send it back into its Pokeball. We're going to shield up. It doesn't matter what they throw. They go for the Brave Bird, hoping that we call a bait. I'm never calling baits with a glassy Pokemon like Dragapult. No way. Good game to the opponent. Next game, we got Lapras on the lead. This is a deceptively not great lead for us. We do have a massive pacing advantage, and I'm going to go ahead and overfarm here, and the opponent tries to catch on Talonflame. We rip in with the Dragapult, and unfortunately, timing is not on my side here. I do not get a move. I was kind of hoping I might look like close, but the opponent throws on great timing there. I'm going to be able to go for 3, and then the move, I'm going for the Shadow Ball, hoping that they'll take shield advantage and come back in with that Lapras, but the opponent shields up, and now I'm in a really awkward spot, because if I actually throw the Shadow Ball, I cannot win this matchup in the 2 shields. So I'm going to go for 3 more moves, go for the Breaking Swipe, and I'm just going to say, you know what? I'll come in with Grumpig and I'll farm down and I'll just do what I have to do against this backline. But the opponent lets it go, and that might be their mistake and their undoing here. We'll see what they come in with. Does the Lapras want to come in? Yes, it does, but I'm going to come in immediately with Grumpig and stash my Dragapult in the back, and they have a Weezing. Oh, and they throw right away on 4. I know it has Brutal Swing, so this is already painful. I now know how much Brutal Swing does. They need 2 more to knock out here. That was them on 5. I'm needing to get to another. I can get to a Shadow Ball here right before they can get to another Brutal Swing. They're going to be on 5, I believe, here, so we need to be able to get there within 3 more Fairy Winds from if I'm counting correctly anyway. Brutal Swing, not going to do enough. We're going to get to the Shadow Ball, and that's going to lock in the game here. As Virizion is healthy enough to be able to throw whatever it needs to throw. We have almost 2 moves. You want to go for the Leaf Blades here, by the way, because Leaf Blade is going to do slightly more damage than Sacred Sword in neutral or when both are super effective. So we'll double up on moves, throw the back-to-back Leaf Blades, and if Virizion wins CMP over Jellicent, it's got to win it over Lapras, even if it has a move, which I know it probably doesn't. But we're going to be able to clinch another win here. Virizion going for the Leaf Blade for the game win. Good game to the opponent. Next game up, we're going to have Virizion on the lead versus Steelix. This is exactly why I wanted to run a Grass League, because I saw so many Steelixes today. It was absurd. We're going to go for the Sacred Sword, and they're going to catch it on Giratina, as they always seem to do. And I do not have a response to the Giratina except my Dragapult, so I'm just going to do what I can't do. At this point, I'm like, Grumpig does well enough into Steelix. All of them so far have had Breaking Swipes, so I'm not worried about the opponent potentially having a crunch Steelix. I kind of, at this point, don't think they're going to run it. So we're going to be going for the move on bad timing on alignment here, but I just want to make sure I get this moving, because I think that they're going to get to another move before I do if I throw with good timing. So if I can get both shields off the opponent, and I can get an attack drop, and I can get them down to a range where a Leaf Blade nearly knocks out, I'm going to be going for another Astonish here to force the opponent to throw that energy, and now they're in Leaf Blade range. So I have a pretty decent matchup into Steelix no matter where I go. Virizion's going to come back in, but the opponent rips into the Steelix, giving up switch advantage. I don't know why they did this, but I'm going to take advantage of it as much as I can. I don't know what they have in the back. I have to assume that whatever it is did not want to be... I don't know, man. I'm going to be honest. I really don't know. But they're going to be going for Psychic Fangs here. 2 of them is not going to be enough. These Thunder Fangs are not adding up. This is where Dragon Tail would honestly help. I'm going to go for 2 and then the Sacred Sword just to make sure that I get there. I don't remember how much energy they had. I feel like they might have got to another Psychic Fang. So I'm going to throw the energy here. And the opponent either comes back in with the Giratina with low HP, or they come in with their third. What are they going to do here? They're going to come in with a Feraligatr, attempted a Peekaboo, but I see it coming because I know that the Gator can't farm me down. I know that I can go for at least another couple of moves, so I overfarm purposefully, and then we're going to be able to get Virizion to the move. Grumpig sitting in the back in a cheerleader's outfit, not worrying about life, except, well, now it's going to have to come in because we have to, but we're able to get to a Dynamic Punch here because they were not able to get to 2 Hydro Cannons. I believe they're 1 or 2 off at this point. After the Shadow Claws they threw into Virizion, we're going to get to the Dynamic Punch in 10 Psy Waves, I believe. It's 10 or 11. I'm pretty sure it's 10. No. No. How many? Shoot. Brain dead. Good game. Oh my goodness. I'm having a blank. I can't remember it's 40 or 50 energy now. It's gotta be 40. It's 45 energy. Y'all just hold on. Comments, you'll be let me up in the comments. 45 energy. So that means it's oh my goodness. It's 12 to the first dynamic punch, right? Because 48 energy, and then it's 11 to the second. So we got there, man. Who was worried? Who was worried? Anyway. Grumpig's going to be coming in on this Clefable because I got to put it somewhere, and honestly, I don't have anything else on this team that can handle the Clefable, so the opponent's going to have to deal with these Shadow Balls, however, and that's going to be fine with me that they don't shield that. I can get switch advantage here, and I am set. If I can keep Virizion away from that Skeledirge and I can put Dragapult on it instead, if I get switch here, I'm fine. And so we're going to try to get to that Shadow Ball before the opponent can farm down, and we do. We're going to get shield parity here, taking a shield, or the opponent's going to take a lot of damage on their Skeledirge, and I have it. But I clicked the Virizion by mistake. Dude, this is my 6th set of the day. I'm tired. I'm like, man, I misclick, and I'm just like, no, I've screwed the game. I've given up alignment. Opponent has a Lapras in the back. I see an opportunity here to potentially win the game, but it's going to come all down to a bait. And if the opponent is within Leaf Blade range, they call the bait and they go for a move. Oh my goodness, everything's going wrong. I should have just thrown the Shadow Ball. And they go for the Ice Beam. It's going to knock out. Now, I have to go for a double up on my Leaf Blades. I'm going to get as close as I can to 2 Leaf Blades before I think they can get to an Ice Beam. They're actually going to let it go. Now, I'm going to be going for 3. The opponent gets the 1-turn bring-in lag, and we're gifted a free move. Actually, we would have got 2 in there anyway. Torch Song is going to come very close to knocking us out with that Incinerate that comes in next, but I can go for 1 more double kick. They just threw at their Torch Song. 1 more, and then we get to the Leaf Blade. Is this going to be enough to clinch a 10-0? Of course it is. You clicked on this video because you saw 10-0 with Grumpig. Shortly, we knew that this was going to be a win, and we wrap up the set 10-0, 11-0 if you want to be technical with this Grumpig team. This is a super fun team if you want to use the spicy version. Again, alternatives include Credilli for Virizion. You could use Dragapult, could be a Giratina or a Guzzlord. Grumpig could be a Malamar, or really any safe swappy sort of Pokemon that's going to draw out something like a Mandibuzz, and especially if you're running something like Credilli or something in the lead that can beat it, right? That's even better for you because you can have a better amount of play if you do draw out a Mandibuzz. But that's going to do it for me for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, let me know in the comments what you think. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.